In this video, we're going to be talking about the question, tell us about a time when you had to think critically regarding a patient. This is the question where you want to talk about something that happened in clinicals or your preceptorship where there was something happening to your patient and you had to escalate it in order to get them the care that they needed. So it could be anything. It could be that someone was going septic. Someone, was showing signs of a new stroke. Maybe somebody had chest pain. It could be any number of things, just something where you can take credit for hands-on things that you did, either, with your preceptor or however it happened, but this is where you give them a mental image of you having the confidence to recognize something and take action to keep a patient safe. It's really important that you do well in this question because if they like you, but they haven't really seen that you think of yourself as a nurse yet and are comfortable sort of taking action in that role, they might not picture you filling the role of a nurse on their floor. Versus if you give them an example of something that you did, they might think, oh, that happens on our floor all the time. She'd be really great here. She or he. So again, any hands-on thing that you can take credit for. So you'll start with talking about what you noticed, how you escalated it, any interventions that you did, the outcome, and then anything that you learned from it. And I'm going to share with you a few example answers. These are from people who did one-on-one coaching who were kind enough to share their answers, which is really cool of them. Okay.
I had a patient who came in and I had this patient for a few days. So during change of shift, I went into his room to go check on him because I was going to be his tech again. And he had an NG tube in, and I noticed that there was blood coming out of his NG tube. So I tried to arouse the patient. He was unarousable, checked for a pulse, did have a pulse. So I immediately called the nurse, told her that there was blood coming out of his NG tube, that it looked like coffee grain color. And then I also called the charge nurse because I knew that this was a serious situation. So while the nurse was coming into the room, I immediately checked his vitals. His blood pressure was low. It was like 80/50. We called a rapid response on the patient, and I stayed in the room the whole time. It was kind of like a runner to go get things out of the supply room. And we were able to stabilize the patient, and he was transferred to unit. And the nurse thanked me after, and she said that she would not have been able to handle the situation without me.
Oh. Did you guys give the patient like blood or fluids or anything? Or
Yeah, they gave him fluid and they gave him blood.
You could say that too. Should I switch back to my Wi-Fi? Is this better
Okay.
worse?
Okay, yeah, they gave him fluids. I think they gave him like
I just switched back to my Wi-Fi because I think it's been getting worse on my hotspot.
Yeah.
Better?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah, say that like they gave him blood and you guys gave him blood and you guys gave him fluid. That's a really good story. Make sure somehow you work that in. So like,
Okay.
a time you advocated for a patient, a time that you had a patient where you had to act quickly, like anything you think it fits for, I would tell that early in the interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A time you had to think critically, like anything that you think it fits for, definitely work that in. Because it shows that you're ready. So like,
oh my
it's
gosh,
unusual
yeah,
that you like were with it enough to do that even when you were like really freaked out. So definitely tell that story.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So during like one of my clinical experiences I had a patient come up and it was my job to monitor her blood sugar regularly. When it was time to monitor her blood sugar, I noticed that her blood sugar was very low, and to make sure it wasn't a mechanical error or a or like a or like a yeah malfunction, I decided to check the blood sugar again. And this time it came back even lower. So I promptly notified the nurse, told them I assessed it twice and it was low both times, and we we stopped the insulin drip and notified the provider and ended up giving the patient dextrose IV and continued to monitor the patient until blood sugar was within normal limits.
Because you said something like 39 before, right?
Yeah, should I say those numbers or should I just say it was very low?
Yeah, because you say
Should I say the
39
numbers?
and any nurse is going to go, whoa, I don't love that. You know, they're going to be kind of like more involved in your story.
So say the specifics. Okay.
Yeah. And then did the patient have any symptoms? Was she like lightheaded or like?
The patient did. She was very she did seem very lethargic. She was very lethargic. She was very tired. She was basically like sleeping, but then she wasn't really. She was like not really easy to arouse.
So you could say that you had noticed that. Take credit for noticing that. You could say, I had a patient that was on an insulin drip, and I noticed that she seemed lethargic, so I checked her blood sugar. Yeah.
Okay, I should definitely say that. Okay.
Yeah. So can you please tell us about a time when you had to act quickly for a patient who was clinically deteriorating?
Yes. So during one of my critical care rotations, I noticed that one of my patients was very she came in due to, and she was feeling very, she seemed like she was very lethargic. She wasn't really easy to arouse, as well as her fingertips were like very cold. And so I checked her blood sugar because she has a history and she was on an insulin drip. And the first reading I got was 40. And to make sure it just wasn't like a mechanical error due to like the glucometer, I checked it again, and this time her blood sugar was even lower at 39. So her blood sugar was definitely dropping. So I quickly notified the nurse, and we stopped or slowed down her insulin drip, notified the provider, and gave dextrose, and monitored her very frequently to make sure her blood sugar was in normal limits.
Perfect. Let's see. Can you please tell us about a time when you needed to escalate a situation or concern quickly and efficiently?
Yes, the time that I needed to escalate a situation was when I was in the patient's room and I was doing an assessment when I noticed that the patient had this left-sided facial droop that was new. It wasn't mentioned in report, and it wasn't part of the patient's baseline assessment in the notes or charts. And so quickly I did a full neuro check just to see if the patient was fully oriented and alert. And I took these findings and I presented it to my preceptor, letting her know that I did a neuro check and I noticed that the patient had a deficit of a facial droop, but no other neuro changes. And because we both quickly suspected that it was a stroke, we immediately called for a code stroke, and I was able to page the stroke team that would then notify rapid response, also letting the primary team know as well. And while I was with the patient, also made sure to take some preventative or cautionary measures, such as checking if she had any IVs to make sure that in case if anything had escalated. And then I also had, because the nursing assistant happened to be there, I also had the nursing assistant grab a glucometer for me, and I was able to get a blood sugar, draw some labs as well. And once the team was over, because the doctor was communicating and explaining things to the patient, I just felt that it was a very overwhelming and intense situation for the patient. So I took that as an opportunity to hold the patient's hand just to provide some emotional support as well. And once we were able to perform the appropriate interventions and assessments, the stroke team was able to take over, and they were able to bring her down for a CT scan where they found that she indeed did have a stroke. And so that was a case at which I needed to escalate the situation quickly, and we were able to then have the appropriate resource and team takeover, in this case being the stroke team. And so that was the case of that.
Can you tell me about a time when you had to take action on a clinically deteriorating patient to keep them safe?
Yeah, so I had this patient who was ready for discharge, and so when I got to work, I got the report and everything. As I was heading into the room, I did I went ahead and made eyes on all of my other patients, and then I got to this patient. I knew that they were going to be discharged, so it's like I kind of waited to get to them last. So when I saw the patient, I just felt like something wasn't quite right with them. Like they weren't making that connection with me. Their breathing was elevated. The respirations were like 32 after I did my assessment. The wife was in the room. They were all set, ready to go. The wife had already went out to get his medication so that he'll have it to go home with. And I was just supposed to come in and discharge the patient. But when I looked at the patient, his stomach was distended. It looked as if it was about to burst. And so I just did an assessment on the patient because I had him the day before. I quickly pulled his pant legs up. I saw that he had bilateral edema on both of his lower extremities. And I enlisted the help of the wife because I don't know his legs. So I asked her, was this normal? They were so tight. And she said, no, that's not normal. And so I called the charge nurse and said, can you come into the room with me? This patient is not ready for discharge. There's no way I could let him be discharged at this point, even though the doctors aren't there with the patient. I'm the one with the patient who knows him a little bit better. So after my charge nurse got in, she also did the assessment with me. We called rapid response. Rapid response came in. They did their assessment. We got the patient back into the bed. The patient ended up being transferred where he had 1.5 liters of brown fluid removed from him. And so I was so grateful that, I was able to use my critical thinking skills, like just that in-depth thinking, that just knowing that something wasn't right and I was not going to release this patient. A week later, I ran into the wife in the hallway and she had on this scrub jacket. And I thought, does she work here? Because she was speaking to me and I couldn't quite remember her, had the mask on. And she was like, you saved my husband's life. Like, if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't be here today. So I felt really honored about that. Just knowing that I was able to sense that there wasn't something quite right with the patient and get him the appropriate help that he needed. So it felt really good. And it's kind of like, that's the reason why I do what I do, because I want to make a difference. I want to catch those things, and being a new nurse, I thought it was really valuable. And it was also brought up in like our huddle that, hey, from my management, oh, she saved a patient's life. And, we got to we have to look out for these things and make sure we're always keeping our eyes on the patient and monitoring them correctly.
I really love that. The only things coming up in my head, like as an interviewer, is like, wait, so I assume by assessment she like took vitals. Were there any vitals changes other than the respiratory rate? Like, is this guy in heart failure? Like, what's going on? I don't like. I want to know, like,
okay,
like because I kind of picture myself there, and I want to take the vitals. I want the data and like the changes.
Okay. I think I left that part out, and I should have included that. But yes, I did get a set of vitals. We did the respiration. I took his vitals, and his blood pressure was low.
How low? Like super low?
Was his? I'm trying to think because I had a couple of situations like that.
It's hard when it's a while back.
Actually, let me take that back. Yeah. So I think actually his blood pressure was higher than what it normally was. So I had 2 critical patients. His blood pressure was high. He was running a slight fever. It was 101 point something or 102. His heart rate was up, respirations were up, like all the signs were up. So all this valuable information was information that I end up communicating to the doctor about the patient, as well as the next unit that received the patient.
I think that helps.
Just saying that up front.
Like,
yeah.
She called a rapid because someone's legs were swollen. Like what else? Like what? I think it makes more it makes more sense when you say the vitals changes too. So what was it? Heart failure or what happened? Do they know?
Well, no, it wasn't. I mean, he had a lot going on, but he, like I said, he had all this fluid that was building up inside of him. So they had to do a paracentesis on him to get the fluid out. He didn't have heart failure, but he did have some stuff going on, prior to that, like a chronic history, I guess. But it wasn't like the main reason why he was there. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Just trying to remember the details. I guess I should remember that stuff too. But I also had a patient that same patient who was cranky and didn't want people just coming and touching him without letting him know. Like this patient was complaining. The charge nurse told me that the patient was complaining of a fever. Like, no, he was cold. He was freezing, and he was like, go and check on your patient. So I'm not going to like downplay or throw anyone under the bus, but this was the information I got from the charge nurse at the beginning of my shift that, hey, the patient is complaining about freezing and, it's warm in the room. So I went in and to go check on the patient, and the patient, sure enough, was shivering under the covers. I checked the thermostat. It was like 72, 74 in the room. I did a set of vitals on the patient. The patient had 103 fever. He was shaking. His blood pressure was low, and he just was not himself as well. And so I definitely called for rapid response after I got this information. I felt that the patient was being septic, and I want to protect his vital organs. So I got my charge nurse in, I called rapid. There was a problem with the bed. We couldn't get the bed to work. So there was electrical problems there, manufacturing problems. So patient ended up getting several boluses of fluid to try to bring his blood pressure up. Gave him IV Tylenol to try to bring down that fever. Because initially I gave him just PO Tylenol to see if that worked, but he still had low blood pressure. So I reached out to the doctor too, got a bolus, got all this stuff going for the patient. The patient got transferred. The patient was septic. We got a lactic acid done on him, and we did so the first one was a little above 2, and then the second lactic acid result was still elevated after 6 hours. So definitely the patient was going through septic shock. So he got transferred. The patient ended up coming back to my floor a couple of weeks later. I was like, what? You're still here? Eventually he got discharged, but he had some surgery and it was just taking a while for things to heal. So yeah, another proud moment for me.
I think that one's good. I like the other one better just because like the visualization I get of like you seeing that woman in the hallway, like that really stuck with me. And I feel like they remember the pictures that you give them, I think this next one might be better for like, if they say like, tell me about a time when you collaborated with others, or like anything involving like communication, teamwork, you can like use for that too.
Thank you. And I have used that one for that. I think I made a note to say I could use this as a collaboration, because it's like I got asked the question, tell me about a time where you had to collaborate or work with other people. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I used that. I didn't know what I was, but I just figured it was a collaboration part. Yeah. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Work it in somehow. It's a good one.
Yeah, thank you.